So anyway, I'm going to repair my microscope. You can kind of see a little space there, and that is because one of the screws that I screwed in, I used Loctite, and I tried to unscrew it. I broke it off, so yeah. What I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the head first. It seems like about the right length, and this thing is about the right width. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my drill and get through there. Here we go. So this entire thing has been drilled out. Now it is time to stick this thing through. Go nice and tight, just like I want it to be. Now I gotta take this thing and essentially I've gotta super glue it back on where we go. I added these things on that I found while cleaning the basement because it was scratching up everything. Because I used screws in all of these holes, and I lost the things that the rubber things that go on the bottom, so I have these ones instead, which work almost as good. Anyway, now to reassemble the head. Remember me putting this together? I don't know if it's even posted still, but I put this together. I added this, I added a polarization filter, and then I took apart a magnifying glass and I added another lens in there. So there are two lenses. There are also two lenses up here, one big and one small, and an LED bulb. And what I'm going to set up is I'm going to set up what is known as Kohler illumination. Actually, Kohler illumination uses two optical lenses at the at the collector, just like I have set up. It uses two lights at the condenser as well, and most importantly what it has is a diaphragm for opening and closing and adjusting light at the collector and the condenser, so it has two diaphragms. My diaphragm, essentially what happened is my diaphragm fell apart while I was trying to mess around with it when I was taking apart and fixing my microscope, and it was a bunch of pieces. It was really complex. I kept trying to fix it and put it back together, but the metal was really thin and sharp, and I kept cutting myself. I got really frustrated, and I just threw all the pieces of the diaphragm in the trash. So it looks like I'm gonna have to start from scratch on making a diaphragm. As you can see, people do make paper diaphragms. I found a really good website with printouts, and I got the printouts and I sized them to be the right size. I printed them a few times and then I just got as close as I could. Cut them out a little bit, and then I realized that I don't really want paper ones. So what I did is I got some number 2 HDPE plastic shampoo bottles, and I basically replicated the cutouts, but I used plastic, which is a lot stronger than paper. See, I am adding one of these. I don't know exactly what they're called, but you can get them at arts and crafts stores, and they work a lot better than thumbtacks for this application. So I'm going to add a piece of tape over the entirety of it so that this thing is covered. The tape allows it to glide a lot smoother. So I'm going to hold the camera between my legs and just show you the opening and closing. Check that out. I finally got it working. This is the light from my microscope. As you can see, it's a bunch of JB welded together Legos and a 9-volt super bright LED light bulb. Disassembled partially. And the head of the light bulb replaced with two lenses, just like one of those Kohler condensers. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start building up around the edges again and JB welding it together. I'm JB welding together a top, and on top of this I will be able to add this assembly of the lighting system. I did it in two parts, but anyway. And now it is time to center this way. Look at this. You can open and close it at will, allowing you to adjust the amount of light. Instead of having two diaphragms, since it took so dang long and it was so frustrating to build this single diaphragm, I've decided to have one diaphragm in between, one diaphragm on top of the collector, since I don't really need a second one, since I do have a dark field filter and polarization for up here. As you can see, I have a small dark field screen, which blocks out the center of light instead of around like a diaphragm. Put away the dark field filter, since with the diaphragm completely closed, we won't be able to see anything with the... And I aligned it perfectly, so all there is to do now is just to wait. So as you can see, it is very useful for adjusting light for a certain specimen or magnification. As you can see, I can dim the light, increase it, or do whatever I want with it with this aspergillus. So anyway, yeah, hope you enjoyed, and see you in the next video. The JB weld is on, and it's mostly dry. Well, it's been a couple of hours, so it's starting to dry and harden, but